Nestled in the northern Italian region of Emilia-Romagna is a village unlike any other. Predappio, with its cobblestone streets and quiet countryside charm, seems ordinary at first glance, but behind its unassuming facade lies a controversial legacy. It is the birthplace and final resting place of Benito Mussolini, Italy's fascist dictator. This single fact has turned the village into both a tourist magnet and a battleground of ideology. To understand Predappio's place in Italy's current political and cultural discourse, we must go back to the early 20th century. Benito Mussolini was born here in 1883 to a blacksmith father and a schoolteacher mother. Raised with a strong belief in socialism and nationalism, Mussolini would later rise to power and found the National Fascist Party, becoming Italy's prime minister in 1920 through the infamous March on Rome. Predappio, as his birthplace, gained prominence. The regime transformed the town into a sort of fascist pilgrimage site, building monuments, roads, and institutions in a style that glorified Mussolini's vision of a reborn Roman Empire. After his death in 1945, Mussolini's body was hidden to avoid desecration, but was eventually returned and buried in the family crypt in Predappio. Since then, this town has served as a silent, yet powerful, reminder of Italy's fascist past. The mausoleum itself has become a pilgrimage site. Every year on key dates, Mussolini's birth, the March on Rome, and the anniversary of his death, thousands of people arrive in Predappio, many donning fascist-era clothing, waving black flags, or making a Roman salute. Souvenir shops sell busts of Mussolini, Nazi memorabilia, and t-shirts that glorify the regime. But how did this continue long after Italy officially banned fascist symbolism? That's where the story gets even darker and more complicated.
The crypt of Benito Mussolini, located beneath the church of San Cassiano, is the focal point of Predappio's fame. Inside, a large tomb is adorned with flowers, messages, and fascist iconography left by visitors. In any other context, this might be seen as a form of cultural or historical memory. But in Predappio, the line between remembrance and reverence is disturbingly thin. Fascist salutes, chants of Duce, Duce, visitors wearing black shirts, the uniform of Mussolini's paramilitary. These are not rare occurrences. They are part of the experience for many who come here to honor what they see as a legacy, not a lesson. The Italian government has attempted to walk a fine line between preserving historical truth and avoiding glorification of a dark chapter. However, Predappio continues to challenge that effort. Officials in the town have allowed shops selling fascist memorabilia to flourish. They argue that it's part of free expression or history, not politics. And yet, the emotional tone of the site, the solemnity, the ritualism, it mimics religious pilgrimage more than academic curiosity. Many who visit the tomb do not see Mussolini as a tyrant but as a misunderstood hero. This rewriting of history, driven by nostalgia and nationalism, is where the danger lies. Recent plans to turn Mussolini's birthplace into a museum sparked debate. Some saw it as an opportunity to teach about the dangers of totalitarianism. Others feared it would become an even larger shrine for fascist sympathizers. So, what's really happening in Predappio? Is this just a case of misplaced memory? Or is fascism still alive, hidden in plain sight? Italy banned the Fascist Party in 1946 and criminalized its symbols. But in reality, fascist ideology never fully disappeared, it simply went underground. Today, far-right political groups in Italy continue to thrive, often tapping into nationalist sentiment, economic frustration, and anti-immigrant rhetoric. Parties like Fratelli d'Italia Brothers of Italy, led by Giorgia Meloni, have been accused of echoing fascist ideology despite their public rebranding. While they publicly reject Mussolini's more violent policies, they retain elements of his vision, strong state control, national identity, and traditional family values. In 2022, Meloni's party won a majority, making her Italy's first female prime minister. The irony: her political roots trace back to Movimento Sociale Italiano, a post-war party formed by Mussolini supporters. While Meloni insists her party has moved beyond fascism, her use of slogans like God, Fatherland, Family, Mussolini's own rallying cries, tells another story. In this environment, towns like Predappio serve not just as historical oddities but ideological safe zones for far-right supporters. They gather, network, and reinforce their beliefs under the pretense of heritage tourism. How we remember history determines how we shape the future. So, can fascism rise again in Italy or anywhere? The uncomfortable answer is yes, but not in the exact same form. Today's authoritarianism doesn't wear uniforms. It doesn't need marches or manifestos. Instead, it creeps in through media, laws, and cultural shifts. It normalizes hate, celebrates nationalism, and discourages dissent. It builds walls, not just physical, but emotional and ideological. Predappio is the canary in the coal mine, a small town that tells a big story. It shows us what happens when a nation refuses to fully reckon with its past. Italy and the world must decide, do we allow history to fade into myth, or do we preserve its truth, however painful, to protect our future? As visitors leave Predappio, many drop notes into the tomb of Mussolini. Some say, "Thank you, Duce." Others say, "Never again." The town stands between two futures, one that repeats the past and one that learns from it. Which one we choose is up to us.